Let's meet at the library. Okay.
Hi everyone, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have the very next round of my retroactive wrap-ups. We're almost caught up, can you believe it? Today we're talking about the books I read in September. I believe I only read 9 books in September. No, not even. I read 7 books in September, so I was going to say this might be a short one because I've only read 7 books, but knowing me, I'll probably just rant longer about each of those books, so TBD. Sorry if my hair looks weird. I couldn't be bothered to wash it, so this is what you get. It's a look. So in September, aka back to school season, I was like reading. I don't know her. Never heard of him. So I listened to 6 audiobooks and read 1 graphic novel physically in my hands. That's it. It's a little disappointing to me. I'm thinking about making my reading goal for next year, instead of it being 52 books overall for the year, which is 1 book per week for the year, I'm thinking about making that 52 physical books for the year, and audiobooks don't count towards that goal. Obviously they would still technically count towards my Goodreads goal, but in my actual goal in my heart, physical books only. Not because I'm a snob, but just because I want to be better about reading books, like sitting down and enjoying a book, not only having that time personally, but also I own a lot of physical books and I need to read them. Yes, I do read some of them as audiobooks, but I don't think it's fair. I bought them, maybe that's how I should be consuming them, you know? Think it through, Julia. So if you've never watched one of my wrap-ups, I go from the lowest rated book to the highest rated book. I have a convoluted rating scale. You can learn all about it. But just know that's why you're going to hear some weird decimal points at some parts of this video. Sadly, the book that I just could not get into, I'm as disappointed as you, is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. So let me give you some backstory. The Raven Boys was one of the first books that I read coming out of a years-long reading slump in college. The books that I read when I got back into reading were Vampire Academy, Anne of Green Gables, Red Queen, and The Raven Boys. I remember those 4 very vividly because I enjoyed them all very much. And Vampire Academy hasn't really stuck with me, but I would like to continue the series at some point. Anne of Green Gables is an absolute treasure. I've also read the 2nd book, but I haven't continued on in that. I should do that. Wow, I've been picking up a lot of series. Interesting. The Red Queen series I finished, except for the short stories, Broken Throne, which I do own. But I've read the actual whole series, which I overall really enjoyed. I think y'all are haters. And The Raven Boys, which at the time I gave 5 stars, even though in that time, being as not picky as I was, and not critical as I was like, this is kind of slow paced and I'm a little confused, but I was still like, 5 stars. Yeah, I wasn't feeling it, Mr. Krabs. The writing is a little overwrought in my opinion, but good. I think Maggie can really turn a phrase. My issues are with the pacing and the characters. Oh boy. Noah, I love. He's perfect. I wouldn't trade him for the world. Blue is okay. I honestly, and I thought this about the first book too, I thought the series was going to be about Blue. So when I was getting a lot of all the boys, I was like, I know that's the title, but that's not what I signed up for. And I maintain I kind of wish it had all been from Blue's point of view. Don't ask me why, I just feel that. Adam, I really liked in book 1, liked less in book 2 because he started being less him somehow. I know it all has to do with Cabe's water, but honestly, my brain can't contain all that information. It's too much for me. Ronan's the worst. I just hate him. I know everyone loves Ronan. I hate Ronan. Why is he such a dick? Like, common courtesy costs literally $0. To not say something mean, that's priceless if you ask me. What did he call? Jocelyn will remember it because she pointed out to me. What did he call Blue and Adam in the beginning? He called them like the poverty twins or something, and I was like, listen, what an asshole. You don't have to do that. And also, these are supposedly your friends. I literally just spit. I got so mad. Anyways, don't like him. I'm sure some character growth is coming. Don't care about it. Also, oh my God. How many times did I have to read about him and Kavinsky going into dreams? And now I got a pen. I'm going in a dream. And now I got a car. And like, I know, again, I know that's the title, but it's not what I'm here for. It's just not the part of the story that I'm here for. I'm so sorry. It was so boring. And I didn't talk about Gansey. Gansey's pretentious. I don't particularly care for him. If I'm being frank, I prefer Noah as a love interest for Blue than Gansey or Adam. I mean, I know where it's going, so I don't even know if I'm going to continue the series, to be honest. Like, I would love to know how things go for my boy Noah. Since I love him so much, I'm going to guess not so good. But, yeah, I'll probably just ask people to tell me how it ends, because I think I'm done here. I'm sorry, Maggie. This next book, I lied to you last month. I said Brooklyn was probably the most disappointing book of my life. That is false. It was The Sworn Virgin by, what was your name? It sounds like a man's name. It's actually a woman. I looked it up. And let me tell you, I was shocked that it was a woman, because the ending of this book, I was like, well, clearly a man wrote this because it's dumb. He doesn't understand how women think, and I hate it. No, it was a woman who was dumb, doesn't understand how women think, and I hated it. Who knew? The Sworn Virgin has a really cool idea of a plot. Why am I actually gonna cry? Because it could have been such a good book. Okay. It's about a girl in Albania in, like, I don't even know what year, like the early 20th century. And I literally, hold on. And her dad is a doctor or, you know, like a medicine man sort of thing. And so, like, he goes and helps people, and she comes with him, and his wife, her stepmom, just kind of like stays at home. And then one day her dad dies, and she's like, no, I'll go be the doctor. And people are like, a woman doctor? So that can't happen. So her life sucks, and her stepmom is like trying to do what's best for both of them because they're poor and starving and cold. And she's like, I'm just going to marry you off. And she's like, but I hate that guy. And it's, there's so much. And it was like really interesting, right? And it was like, I knew the stepmom wasn't doing good things, but she was like trying to do good things. So I was like, right? So stay with me here. So the way she gets out of the marriage, I'm going to spoil it for you because it's the title. So I'm not spoiling anything. She becomes a sworn virgin, which means she can live as a man. She has all the same rights as a man, but she can never get married. And she has to remain a virgin because, you know, in this time period, those are closely knit together. So like, that's like, okay, wow, like she can wear pants. She can just like have a job and do man things. Okay. Like, it sounds goofy, but you know, like in the context, it was really cool. But then she saves the life of a man up in the mountains and she nurses him back to health. And you know what? I knew this part of the story. It was on the back of the book and I was here for it. I was like, okay, she made a vow to be a virgin, but she's falling in love. It's spicy. Tell me about this secret romance. It was awful. And I'm fully going to spoil it for you. I know I get to rant about this again at the end of the year, but I'm going to rant about it right now because it was just so bad. Oh, first of all, he's not like a hot young guy who's her age. She's like 18. This man is old enough to be her father. Ew. Then, throughout their little, I don't even know what to call it, relationship, he's always like, you remind me of someone. And it's like, okay, great. Wonder who she reminds you of. It's probably like your ex-wife because you're old, right? No. Do you know who she reminds him of? Literally her mother, who he almost married. I know that means they're not related in any way, shape, or form, but it sounds so gross to my brain. I hate it. And also, can you imagine a man being like, I'm into you because I thought your mom was hot? Nothing is going to turn me off faster. Thanks. Don't want that. Shut it down immediately. It was bad. And then also just there were a lot of aspects of their relationship that were awful. Like our main character really liked to read. And so like once he went and got her a book as a present, I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. And then she read the book and it literally was like, how to be a wife. Always listen to your husband. Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, this book sucks. And he was like, why aren't you grateful I got you a book? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, everything about it was awful. And the reason that it was so disappointing was because like plot started strong, totally took a turn for the awful. There was like a shining beacon of hope where they were fighting so much and she was like, I'm leaving. And I was like, yes. Like it was like the end of the Breakfast Club, especially in this jacket. And then immediately she turned around and they started making out and they were like, I love you. I'm going to be with you forever. And I was just like, okay, great. I'll just see myself out. So I gave this book 3 stars because the idea is so good. And like the first half of it was so good, but I couldn't give it any higher than that because the ending sucked so hard. So that's The Sworn Virgin. All right. Next. In September, Latinx-a-thon happened. I participated, and guess what? I read books that were not on my TBR at all. So if you saw my TBR video, no spoilers, you don't know anything. I listened to They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera, which I gave 3.5 stars. This was a lot like Heartless for me, where I enjoyed it. I thought the world building was cool, and I had nothing wrong with the characters that really bothered me. But the whole time as I was reading it, I was like, well, I know exactly where it's going. Like, there's no tension because it's you already told me. You told me. You warned me. They both die at the end, so okay, I'm prepared. And if I'm mentally prepared for it, I can be pretty strong. If I'm mentally unprepared, I would have been a sobbing baby. And I prefer to be a sobbing baby. I like to have strong emotions. So it was just all right for me. But I got nothing against the book. Number 4, and also 4 stars, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. You guys are just mean. I like this book. maybe it was a little too long and repetitive at some parts. It had, what did I just say was really repetitive? It had like, the girls syndrome where she's like, now I'm doing this, and then I'm back, and now I'm back, and now I'm back again. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it. You're an alcoholic. Your roommate hates it. I know. I've been through it 18 times. So things got a little old there. But I think this has like some fun misdirection. It is, in my opinion, the little fires everywhere of the thriller genre. Stay with me. All three of our main female characters, I was going to name them. I don't remember any of their names. All three of our female characters, Rachel, Megan, and Anna, all have different perspectives on the motherhood narrative, if you will, that I found really compelling, and I happen to really love the ending. So I enjoyed it. And I had seen the movie beforehand, so I knew what I was getting into, and I was like, yeah, that was a fun ride. I like it. And I have Into the Water, also by Paula Hawkins, so I'm intrigued. I know this is a divisive one, but I say The Girl on the Train is good. I was also going to say, oh, this was my oldest TBR book for the month of September, as was Brooklyn for August. I forgot to mention that. Oh. So I was really pleasantly surprised to not be let down because it's been on my TBR for so darn long. Next at 4.5 stars, we have Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This was another one for Latinx-a-thon. I gave it 4.4 stars because I really enjoyed it while I was reading it. Now thinking about it, I don't remember it that well. I don't usually change ratings though, so it's probably going to stay at 4.4. But it was really cute. It has one of my all-time favorite friendship tropes, which is enemies to friends, or like mean girls to friends, because mean girls, we don't need that. What year is this? Okay, what year did the movie Mean Girls come out? 2003? That was the pinnacle of Mean Girls. I think in the year of Mean Girls, ever since then, if your story has mean girls who are just mean girls and can't grow, I don't want it. Get it out of here. I do, however, love a story where the mean or popular or whatever girl either sees the error of her ways or is misunderstood and is like, I'm just really cool and I have to be mean for this reason, or maybe I should have done this way. Like, that's great. Character growth, yes. Girls supporting girls, yes. So that was really well done in this book. Oh, I just got cold chills all over my body. I did, however, just remember that there was a very light element of body horror that absolutely grossed me the hell out. So if you, I think it's because of my trypophobia or trypophobia. I don't know how to pronounce it. Look it up, but also don't, because it'll trigger you if you have it. It's like fear of like little holes. And for me, it like, oh God, it also comes out with like patterns in nature, if that makes any sense. So like beehives I don't like to look at. Snake skin grosses me out. Any sort of organic pattern, those like seed, oh God, I'm getting so itchy just talking about it. Those like seed pods that you'll see in like bouquets at Michael's. Any of that, if that bothers you, you might have it. But there was just something involving fungus that was very, very, very gross to me. So that might bother you, or it might not bother you. It's probably just me. But I will let you know that that's a thing in this book. Okay, next. At 4.6 stars, I read a middle grade graphic novel called Operatic, and it was really cool. I totally found this on a whim. I go to the library a lot to pick up books for my preschoolers because we have a lot of books in my classroom, but it's nice to just like have fresh things or, pick up something that's about a theme we're talking about. So I'm often in the children's section at my public library, and also because children's books are really good. Don't hate. And so I saw this graphic novel in the new arrivals, and I was like, let me check it out. It'll be a quick read. The last time I picked up a middle grade graphic novel on a whim, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was Thornfield last year. It was great. And it was so good. It was like all about music, and it had themes about like perseverance and like not caring about what other people think, and confidence, and like the power of friendship and following your dreams. And oh, it was just so cute. And I loved there were like 3 different colors for the 3 different plot lines that we were following, but also like sometimes they would meld. It's hard to explain because I read it a while ago, and like when you read something in one sitting, you're like, what actually did I read? But it was like a girl, and in her music class, the teacher wanted them to all find like a song that speaks to them, and they're supposed to like do a project about it. And she found that she really loves opera, and then in a different timeline, we were hearing all about her favorite opera singer who sung that favorite song that she found for the project. And then there was a boy who used to go to her school who was a very talented singer, but then got made fun of and stopped coming to school. So it's just like the way those 3 came together was really beautiful. The artwork was really cool. I mean, it was like good artwork, but the colors really drove it home for me. And I just enjoyed it. Operatic. Finally, a 5-star book. It matches another 5-star book I read this year. It's Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. Oh my god. Okay, listen. It's a chonker, okay? And you would think with a book this long, I would mark it down for pacing. But I was not bored, okay? I was thoroughly entertained the whole way through. There were some things in the plot, yes, that I definitely predicted. Some things that I didn't predict. And overall, I really, really loved it. My only complaint that I almost truly did mark it down just a bit for was this book needed more Jericho. I needed about 100% more Jericho Jones than this book gave me. So I'm a little disappointed. Every scene we had of Jericho was very on brand. I still love him. I just needed a little more. So hopefully the next book has more Jericho. What's the 3rd one? Before the Devil Breaks You, I think? Well, the devil can't break me unless he kills Jericho Jones. What am I talking about? I don't know. I love all the characters in this book. I don't know why this is the one I'm talking about the least when I gave it 5 freaking stars. Lair of Dreams, it's set in the 1920s. It's the sequel to The Diviners. It is amazing. The cast of characters is so good, and they're all so like different and fun, but also like everyone, they're just like diverse and cool, and there's a lot happening. And here's my thing. 1920s New York is such a, it's like a pinnacle of a setting. It's right there with like California in the 1800s, because it is so easy to write a diverse story in that setting. It's like, who don't you have living there? You know? Like any kind of person can be in that story. And this character, and this novel's a great example of that. We have native New Yorkers. We have immigrants. Chinese immigrants in particular are very prevalent to this second book. We have people who are black and people who are this and that and all kinds of different things. Because historical fiction, why is it always white people? So stupid. It's like, yeah, don't you know in the past only white people were alive? No. Sorry, I'm getting on a soapbox. I just, as a fan of historical fiction, it makes me really happy when I can read a book and it has people that are seamlessly woven in that are all different kinds of people. Because, oh my god, that just exists in the world. Ha. Okay, this book was great. I told you nothing about it. Thank you all so much for watching. As I predicted, I just ranted longer about those 7 books instead of this being shorter. I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed. Please share with me your thoughts about some of these books below, if you've read them, if you haven't, or literally whatever. You could tell me what you ate for dinner today. I would love to chat. And be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you can see more from me, and you will be seeing more of me soon. Bye!